Hope steps out onto the wooden porch of her cabin. The birds creaking gently beneath her boots. As she inhales the crisp, cool air of an autumn morning. The world around her is painted in the rich, warm colors of faux, deep oranges, vibrant reds, and golden yellows that glow under the soft light of the rising sun. The trees, tall and sturdy, form a protective circle around her cabin, their leaves fluttering down like confetti. In the light breeze, Hope wraps her hands around a steaming cup of herbal tea, the warmth seeping into her fingers. She takes a slow, calming sip. The tea's herbal aroma mingles with the earthy scent of the forest. And in this moment, Hope feels deeply peaceful and deeply content. As she breathes in and breathes out again, she watches her breath form little puffs of mist in the chilly morning air. The first time this year in the fall that she sees her own breath. A reminder of the season's gentle approach toward winter. Fred, her loyal dog, sits at her feet, his head resting on her knee, eyes closed in contentment, as he enjoys the peaceful morning. Melissa the cat is perched on the porch railing. Her gaze focused intently on the fluttering leaves. Her tail twitching lazily. The three of them share this quiet moment. A small family, perfectly at ease in their little corner of the world. The forest around them is alive with the subtle sounds of autumn. The rustling of leaves as they fall to the ground, the distant call of birds beginning their day, and the occasional crunch of a squirrel darting across the forest floor, gathering the last of the season's acorns. Pope listens to these sounds in a meditative state, a soft smile on her warm and kind face, feeling deeply connected to the natural world around her. as she finishes her tea. Hope takes a deep breath, savoring the last bit of warmth from the cup, before setting it down on the porch beside her. She knows the day ahead will be filled with simple tasks. But for now, she allows herself to simply be, enjoying the calm and beauty of the autumn morning. This is her favorite time of year, when the world slows down just a little, when she can fully appreciate the quiet, steady rhythm of life in the forest. Then, Hope goes into the warmth of her cabin. She crosses the small, cozy kitchen, goes into the living room, and sits at a well-worn desk near the window. On the desk lies her journal, its leather cover smooth from years of use. She opens it, flipping through pages filled with memories, thoughts and reflections, until she reaches a blank page. She picks up her pen, an old pen, a pen given to her by her mother, a pen she holds dear, a pen that has recorded the inner life of not just her, but her beloved mother and her mother before her. There is, in a way, a connection to something bigger through this pain. Something deeper than just words. She writes, October 12th. This morning, the world feels wrapped in a beautiful blanket. The air was so crisp and cool just now. As I sat out on the porch, I can see the leaves turning, and I can feel the stillness in the air. I'm sitting here looking out over the forest, and I can't help but think back to autumns of the past. Those busy years when I lived in the city. It was a different world, with its noise and lights, those endless to-do lists. I remember those mornings when I barely noticed the changing leaves, too caught up in the whirlwind of obligations. But here, in my beautiful cabin, my home, Everything feels different. I've come to appreciate these slower days, where the simple act of watching the leaves fall, or feeling the chill of the morning air, can fill my heart with a kind of peace I never even knew I was missing. I tell you one thing. If anyone ever reads this, I want you to know that I am grateful for this life, for the journey that brought me here. Each morning I wake with a sense of contentment, knowing that I have created a life where I can truly be at peace. I look forward to the day ahead, to the small joys that await me. Tending to the garden, gathering wood, sharing a quiet meal with my little family, Fred the dog, and Melissa the cat. You know, in the past, seasons used to move from one to the next, without me really noticing it. But now I see my beloved autumn arriving back to us. And for me, it's a time of reflection, a time of gratitude. And for that, I am deeply thankful. Hope closes the journal, running her hand over the smooth cover for a moment, before placing it back on the desk. She takes a deep breath, feeling a sense of contentment wash over her. This is her life now, and she wouldn't trade it for anything. She then decides that the morning is far too beautiful to stay inside. So she gathers her scarf and jacket, calling softly for Fred. The loyal dog bounds to her side, his tail wagging enthusiastically. Melissa, always more reserved, stretches languidly on the porch before following behind. As they step off the porch and onto the path leading into the woods, Hope takes a deep breath, filling her lungs with the fresh, cool air of autumn. The forest is alive with the sounds and scents of the season. The ground beneath her feet is covered with a thick blanket of fallen leaves, each step creating a satisfying crunch. The decoys softly through the trees. This is the time of year when the earth seems to be in transition. Hope thinks to herself. She notices the different textures beneath her boots. The soft, damp soil. The Brito leaves. The occasional smooth stone that has been uncovered by the wind. Fred trots ahead, his nose to the ground, sniffing at the earthy scents that tell a story. Only he can understand. Melissa, ever the independent spirit, moves at her own pace, posing occasionally to watch a leaf fluttered down from a branch, or to bat a destroyed piece of moss. It is beautiful today. The sunlight filters through the canopy. The wind lightly rustles the branches. And little animals like squirrels dart up trees. Hope feels the cool air on her cheeks. She feels alive in this moment. Really alive. They continue their walk, following the path. Zip meanders through the woods. This is Hope's time. Our place. And she feels so at home here. As they near the end of the walk, the path curves back toward the cabin, and soon, Hope is inside. Fred trotting in happily behind her. And Melissa slips in after them through the slightly ajar door. Hope decides it's time to make a fresh cup of tea. The cabin is filled with the familiar, comforting sounds of home. The soft clinking of the kettle as it heats on the stove. The newly lit fire crackling in the hearth. And the occasional rustle of leaves as the wind picks up outside. The hours pass quietly as Hope, busy as herself with little tasks around the house. She takes a moment to tidy up her bookshelves, carefully dusting each volume before placing it back in its spot. she arranges a small bouquet of dried flowers she had collected earlier in the season, their colors still vibrant, and places it in the center of the table. Fred lies sprawled out on the rug, his eyes half closed, in a state of blissful relaxation. While Melissa dozes on the windowsill, her body curled into a perfect circle. Hope then glances outside and sees that clouds are gathering on the horizon. The wind, which had been a gentle breeze earlier, is starting to pick up. Hope stands by the window, watching as the clouds slowly roll in. There is weather approaching, which Hope knows will bring a different kind of beauty to the forest, one that she loves and finds incredibly cozy. Soon the atmosphere really changes, and the first few drops of rain begin to splatter against the glass. It gets more steady, and Hope stokes the fire, adding a few more logs to ensure her cabin is warm and cozy. Throughout the storm, the storm is now in full flow, and Hope couldn't be happier. She sits down in her favorite chair in the living room, well-worn volume from the shelf. One she has read many times before. The book is called Seasons of Change. Autumn Around the World. She begins to read. Autumn, known as a time of change and transformation, has been celebrated in various ways across the world for centuries. In many cultures, this season is not merely a time of harvest, but also a period of reflection, preparation, and renew. It is a time when the earth itself seems to pause, exhaling after the long, warm days of summer, and drawing in a breath before the quiet of winter. In Japan, the arrival of autumn is marked by the traditional practice of momigagari, or hunting autumn leaves. During this time, people venture out to the mountains and forests to to admire the vibrant colors of the changing leaves, particularly those of the maple trees, which turn a brilliant red. The practice is seen as a way to reconnect with nature, to appreciate the fleeting beauty of the season, and to reflect on the impermanence of life. The concept, deeply rooted in Japanese culture and philosophy. Across the world, in the Celtic traditions of Ireland and Scotland, autumn was historically celebrated with the Festival of Samhain, a time when the veil between the living and the dead was believed to be at its thinnest. It was a period for honoring ancestors, lighting bonfires and preparing for the long, dark winter ahead. The festival also marked the end of the harvest season, the time of both celebration and reverence for the earth's bounty. As she continued to read, the fire crackled softly in the hearth, its warmth filling the room. As the storm continued outside, the more hope, wrath, the heavier her eyes became. And soon, the combination of the warm fire, the rhythmic sound of the rain, and the comfort of her armchair began to lull her into drowsiness. My eyelids grow heavy, 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 so very heavy. And hope realizes that sleep is not far off. She closes the book gently and begins to go towards bed. Fred stares slightly as she walks past him, his paws twitching as he dreams. Melissa is stretched luxuriously on the windowsill. Hope walks towards her room with a blanket around her and a little candle. She goes through her now, brushing her teeth, washing her face, and soon she is in her little bedroom, where her simple but inviting bed awaits. She climbs into bed, and Fred has by now settled at the foot of the bed. Melissa has also followed her in and is curled close to Fred. Hope pulls her cozy blankets up to her chin. Feeling the weight and warmth of them as she lets out a contented sigh. To extinguish the candle, the last bit of light flickering out as darkness settles over the room. The sounds of the storm outside, the warmth coming from the now slightly glowing embers in the fireplace, and the comfort of her little surround her. And with a heart full of contentment and gratitude, Hope drifts off to sleep. Of the autumn storm, loving her into a deep rest for slumber.